Dark Souls 3 is a video game that needs no introduction. And yet, here I am giving it an introduction. It's a grueling but extremely rewarding challenge. It's horrifying, yet beautiful. It features some of the greatest boss fights in gaming. It has lore deeper than the Marijuana Trench. It's the epic and grand conclusion to an amazingly impactful trilogy of games. It's the third one, and it's got an indisputable mountain of interesting and powerful things to talk about. I kind of want to talk about its funny looking nooks and crannies. So here's the deal. I have wanted to make a video on Dark Souls 3 for quite a while, but I just couldn't really figure out what I actually wanted to talk about. But I've been watching a lot of Benny Austin's videos lately and felt a little inspired. He has a lot of videos where he talks about unremarkable places in video games like Mario 64, Spyro, Breath of the Wild, and many more. So I'm going to do my own version of his type of video where I'm just going to go to places where you weren't perhaps necessarily meant to go, or at the very least the developers didn't mean for you to focus on these areas, but you can get to them easily, no problem, without clipping or glitching. The basic rules that I've been going by, if you can even call them rules, so more like guidelines really, for picking out these locations are, does it feel like I was meant to be here? And does it feel like there was supposed to be something here, but the devs forgot to put it in? And before I really get into any of these locations, I'm aware that some of them might only be empty on a new game, but they might have an item there in New Game Plus. I, however, do not do New Game Plus very often, so I wouldn't know. But if you know that one of the locations that I bring up will have an item in New Game Plus, or New Game Plus 2, or 3, or whatever, which one it is, cool. Tell me in the comments or whatever. If I look like a fool, I look like a fool. That it wouldn't be the first nor the last time. But anyway, enough about that chit-chat. Let's get to the point of the video and go to our first location. The first little nook that I found was in the high wall of Lothric area, just up the stairs to the tower where you find the goop guy and a longbow. If you walk past the blocked stairs, you'll discover a pointless little corner. It's pretty cozy and feels like a good place to sit down and protect yourself from a windy day or something, but the real treasure here is the view. You can see the bridge down in Faron Keep that ends abruptly, which certainly makes it feel like you're peeking behind the curtain. Moreover, if you look to the left where the rest of the castle walls are, you'll see what Dark Souls 3 would have looked like on a PlayStation 1. It's kind of wild how quickly the game goes from its higher resolution graphics to its cardboard cutout graphics. I understand why, and I'm not shitting on the game. I actually love it, precisely because it's taken me so long to notice. And I noticed it all thanks to this nook. Thank you, Nook. Our next destination is in the Undead settlement in the area where you fight the squad of gremlins. There's a lot of rooftops here to fight on and whatever, but nobody cares about that. The real treasure here is this rooftop right here. If you jump at the right angle, you can get up there, and let me tell you, the vibes up here are impeccable. You feel like you're on an actual rooftop, and Papa Miyazaki is shouting at you to get down from there before your mother comes home. There's also a lovely creeping sensation that the hitboxes here are mere moments away from caving in underneath you. Truly, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite rooftop in the entire game right here. And if you loved that, and need another fix for your new rooftop addiction, like the sick bastard we all know you are, Catherine, then there's more to find in the area where you find the hottest thing on two legs. And also a fire demon, I guess. Once you've beaten the demon and had a toast or two, you should head up the big building so you can access the rooftop. From here, you can drop down to 2 more places that'll make Miyazaki call an ambulance in advance, just in case. In my opinion, the vibes here don't quite reach the same heights as the Gremlin rooftop, but it's still worth checking out for yourself. Our next stop on our journey is on the way to the Cathedral of the Deep, and it has quickly become one of my favorite places to visit on every playthrough. From this bonfire, head up the road and take a left. To your right, you'll find a Titanite shard, but the real treasure here is what you get if you continue up left. You eventually get to this open view over Faron Keep, which I did not find until after 250 hours, if not more. What I love here isn't necessarily that the view is incredible, because it's not really that amazing, but it's more so that this area feels like a secret. A secret little cranny that I wasn't meant to find, but I'm eternally grateful that I did. For all the fellow Swedish people in the audience, this has basically become my Cantarellstelle for Dark Souls 3, but minus the mushroom. This next location is another certified banger because it really feels like the type of place that the devs looked at when the game released, and then they thought, oh fuck, I forgot to put that item in there. It can be found just left of the main entrance to the Church of Yorshka, and it has, well, nothing. There's a few trees and a nice raised portion where I can imagine myself sitting down for a break to muster up the courage to face the horrors of tomorrow. Well, like I said, it really feels like there was supposed to be an item here or something, like a coin, but it was just forgotten. Maybe New Game Plus does have an item here, but like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't know, I don't really care, I'm not rewriting my script. This next one can be found on your way to the boss that just could not deal with having only one sword but had to have two swords. Pontiff Sullivan. After you've had your soup dinner date, passed the silverware knights and fought off all the dogs, you get to this point where you normally just run up these stairs and go to fight Pontiff Sullivan. However, if you stop by this point in the stairs and walk up to the ledge, you'll find yourself at a nice corner of Irithyll. What makes it so nice, I hear you asking? Well, if you tilt your camera down, you'll see the famous Irithyll Shit River, or as the locals call it, the Dire River. So yeah, I'm gonna be fully honest. The only reason this nook is in this video is because I wanted to make a poop joke. Yes, I know, I'm immature. Or should I say, immanure? Look, alright, I'm not proud of that one either. I know my comedy stinks. Okay, for real, I'm so fucking sorry. Let's just wipe this part of the video from our minds and move on to the next area. Now, this place, I'm like almost certain must have some sort of item in New Game Plus or one of the pluses, because it feels a little too intentional. It can be found in the Profaned capital, coming from where you save the best character in all of gaming. You drop down inside the building, or walk through the crack, you do you girl, then head down the stairs, take a left, and bam! There it is, a room which features nothing but the latest selection of pottery. The first time I got here, I thought there'd be a hidden wall or something, but nope. 'Tis just a place that's available to rent right now. But I'm a little short on money right now, and, you know, plans aren't really working out the way I thought they would. And, there's the loans I gotta pay back. Probably gonna have to move back in with my mom. Nah, screw that. I'll just live in the fireplace in Lothric Castle. At least I fucking think it's a fireplace. Now listen up, all you rooftop addicts. I've got another one for you, and this one has a different vibe. This one can be found outside the Grand Archives, where you drop down to fight the worst enemies in the game. I swear to God, the Corvians just don't understand the concept of letting someone else have a fucking turn. Mom said it's my turn to do an attack. Anyway, after you've ripped out your own pubes in frustration, you can find this gap right here in the fence, or whatever you want to call it, and it allows you to walk out on the rooftop. This feels very strange because there's really no reason to be allowed out here. I can only assume that the gap in the fence was made in hopes that players rolling away in a panic from the feathery fox would accidentally roll off the roof and wish that they had some feathers of their own, if you catch my drift. Either way, it's a very nice place to just roam around on some shingles and look down at the starting area, which looks almost unrecognizable from this angle. Hey, by the way, do you remember that one boss? The one that's like a king or something? No, you know him for sure. His name is I forget, but either way, him, right? You know what the best part of beating him is? The satisfaction of a job well done? No. The Titanite slab? Nah. Could it be Ornstein's armor set? It is pretty cool. Nope. Well then, it's gotta be his boss soul, right? So you can get his weapon? What the fuck it? No, obviously not. It's this long and pointless nook which offers no item, no enemy, and not even a breathtaking view. get it together, man. God. It's just a pointless stretch of nothing, and it is awesome. It also feels like it's unintentional since the other side features no such nook, which tells me that whoever built this place finished and then looked over here and realized that the whole building was slightly off center and then promptly threw his hat on the ground and later quit. Now this is environmental storytelling. But I know you sick fuckers don't give a shit about some stupid lore corner. You are already foaming at the mouth thinking of where to find another pointless rooftop. Well, fine, you sick freaks. Here's the biggest pointless rooftop that I could find. Here you go. It's the rooftop of the building where you find the painter girl, and there's just nothing here. Again, New Game Plus might have a little body, like a little dried up raisin corpse somewhere with a coin on it, but like I said, tell me how dumb I am and how base you are for knowing that in the comments. But guys, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. As much as I get a high from being on these rooftops, this cold breeze is really starting to get to me. If only I had a place to like shield myself from the wind or something. Wait, what's that? Wait a minute, is that? No, could it be? It's our old friend from the start of the game. Our very first Nook. You don't have the low poly castle next to you anymore or any magically disappearing bridges, but I don't care. It's not the low resolution bricks or invisible infrastructure that makes the Nook. Its personality is what makes a Nook cook. And for those of you that want more long and pointless dead ends like that one in Archdragon Peak, fear not, I got you covered. Once you get to the Ringed City and reach the Robin Hood fan club gathering, take a left down the big stairs and you'll find our next Nook. This long and pointless stretch of ground features a safety risk at the end where you can easily trip and fall to your doom. I get the vibe that when they built this place, the guys in charge ran out of fence material and didn't want people falling off, dying, and then blaming them for their shoddy work. They put in place the fan club to kill anyone on site just to cut to the chase since they'd probably die anyway. And this way, the archers would be responsible for the deaths, and not David. This theory is about as waterproof as a towel, but I'm running with it and you can't stop me. Now here's the deal. We have unfortunately reached the second to last stop on our list of nooks. And I'm going to be totally honest here. This one is not that incredible. Like, it's barely even worth mentioning, but I struggled a lot to find an interesting sort of nooks in the DLCs. So I am specifically bringing this one up as an excuse to basically do a PSA and ask you all kindly to start up Dark Souls 3 again, play through the game, do your own nook hunting, and especially for the DLCs, look for interesting nooks like the ones I've shown before. I'm sure that there are way more wonderful nooks and crannies in this game, but I need your help to find them. Anyway, here's the nook. There's a tree, I guess. Some flowers. I could picture myself sitting down to have a sandwich and a juice box here. I could see someone leaning over the fence and having a smoke. But I don't smoke though, so that's not an option for me. But enough about this place. It is time for the finale. And fittingly, the best nook in the entire game can be found at the end of the franchise as a whole. Slave Knight Gael's arena, at the end of the whole Dark Souls universe, is the best nook in the entire game. Period. I'm sure that a lot of you, just like me, have only ever really seen the main area where you fight Gael, that one corner where you fight the lady that's like upset at you for whatever reason, and Gordon over here. It makes perfect sense, because really, that's all there is to see here. But did you know that this area is absolutely fucking massive? And for no reason at all? I'm serious, these ash dunes are way more explorable than I first thought, and there's no reward for exploring them. On some level, I do believe that it's intentional, Like, the developers wanted you to feel that there's truly nothing left at this point in time except for Ash and the few people that managed to keep themselves from hollowing until now. But I just absolutely love that we get to run around here and see all that emptiness for ourselves. Also, I really wonder if you can get Gael to come all the way over to these spots, because I'm fairly certain there's nothing to stop you from doing so. Anyway, I highly recommend checking out the vast emptiness of this nook, because it's the perfect place to go for a walk and really soak in the vibes of this universe that refuses to die, even though there's nothing left but ash and the few remaining scraps of the kingdoms that used to fuel its very existence. And on that note, this video reaches its own end. I really enjoyed putting together this video, especially playing through the game again, specifically looking for places like the ones that I mentioned, because it made me notice details that I had never noticed before. Even after more than 500 hours of this game, there was still a whole lot more that I had not seen yet. And if you liked this video, then that's really cool. I'm glad I could entertain you for a little bit. And if you're looking for more entertainment and you want to see something else from me, then I suggest checking out my Silent Hill video, which is somewhere on my channel. And if you want to catch me live at some point, then I suggest checking out my Twitch at twitch.tv/xcwordx. You can find my stream schedule there and also what game I'm currently playing. Now, before you go, I do sincerely hope that you have a wonderful evening, morning, day, night, whatever it might be, wherever you might be, and I hope to see you all some other time. I could picture myself sitting down to have a sandwich in a jukebox. Jukebox? No, juice box. I'm gonna go on a camping trip, and I'm gonna bring a sandwich and a jukebox. A delicious and quenching jukebox.